Welcome back to Ferris Sports Update. Time to check in with Bulldog men's basketball, and we're joined by head coach Andy Bronkema. Coach, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Obviously a busy stretch here as your team's played a lot of basketball with a couple more big games coming up here before the Thanksgiving holiday.
Yeah, well, we like to play games, so we just stack as many in there as we can, and it's no better way to improve than just to see yourself in action against another team. And we've had some good teams in here at the Wink Arena, so we're battle tested already.
Obviously, before we get into this past Saturday's game against Lewis, you had won your first 8 games of the year, and you mentioned that some difficult teams in that stretch that you were able to play.
Yeah, some games we played really well, and probably weren't going to lose those games because all the shots were falling, and other games we didn't shoot well at all and found a way, and we had some explosive runs in there, and we had some droughts in there, and some injuries. So we've kind of figured a lot of things out, and we're still learning.
Obviously, this past Saturday, as we go to the highlights, took on Lewis, a third straight matchup against a regional opponent here in non-conference play, and all 3 kind of rivalries that you've been able to continue here in regional action.
Yep, got down in all 3 games, and found a way to come back in 2. Came back in all 3, just couldn't finish the deal against Lewis here. I just thought Lewis wanted it more, and they made a lot of big plays against us. So I mean, Dang's got to get there on the X out, covering that a little bit quicker. 33 is a great shooter. That was part of the scouting report. But again, they made big plays. We're going under the screen here, and freshman steps up, hits a big shot. They did that all day long. Kind of a late hedge there by Mason. They just took advantage. I thought Lewis played really well, and I thought we were playing from behind all game, and we tied it up at the end, and then they made another big play. So I did think that was a legal screen there against the zone, pretending to post up, but we couldn't make the coverage. So yeah, when you're trailing from behind, you're playing with fire. We're in the zone right there, and it's harder to rebound out of the zone, and he slipped right in there for the tip in. It's just a lot of those type of plays Lewis was making, and we were playing from behind. So
you mentioned that little bit of a slow start, but you had some guys come in off the bench and sparked it, and gave you some great production. Michael Peterson, Greg Williams, Mason Klein really did some scoring for you.
Yeah, our bench was great. We just can't have that many starters or that many players play poorly on the same night. If that trend continues, we'll lose a lot more games. I don't think it will, but on this particular night, Lewis had a lot to do with it. Mainly offensively, they were just playmakers, and they were playing without, any fear. They had started out the season with some tough losses, and they were just playing fearless, launching up there, say, hey, what else do we have to lose? So a couple big plays by Walt here down the stretch to get us close, to get us tied up. I don't think the 3-pointer's on here, but I just, at the end of the game, I had some regrets as a coach. Just wish I would have put us in maybe a little bit better defensive scenario there. But at the end of the day, that was the theme of the game. They made plays, and that last big shot there with 2 seconds left to win them the game was no different. I mean, Pischke had struggled. I mean, he made his first 3 of the season against us, rattled it in on the highlights there, but he was 2 of 10, and that made him 3 of 11. So hats off to him for making the play, and we're on to the next. And had a little bit of joy though with Quentin Ruff on the other side and seeing him get his first D2 win, and then Coach Trost, a lot of respect there, and he kind of had a tough preseason, and he needs some wins to get him going. So not a tough preseason basketball wise, but I care about my fellow coaches, and if you're going to lose one, it's easy to lose against a guy that does things the right way and takes one of your own in to be on his staff.
Obviously, now as you mentioned, you kind of reflect back on that one and put it behind you, and you get ready for Grace Christian and East-West University coming up here this week.
Well, it's the first time we've tried this scheduling philosophy where we're going to get a break now for Thanksgiving and after Thanksgiving. Usually, Wednesday's off. Thursday, we're bringing them back late Thursday night, run some turkey off them, and we're playing that Saturday. So we don't play this Saturday, and we're stacking them before, almost like a little tournament. Even though there's no other team involved, it's just we're playing back-to-back, and then gonna go to Thanksgiving, have our family traditions, and have some time off, and kind of collect our thoughts about where we're at in this point in the season, and then going forward into GLIAC play, into conference play. So I think I'm excited about the way the schedule is this year. I'd like to do it like this in the years to come too.
Obviously, here before the Thanksgiving holiday, 2 games. Maybe talk about how important these games are, giving you that momentum, that confidence going into the start of conference action.
Well, we know, you have to have confidence regardless of the situation, but we do know that the GLIAC conference, is another level up as far as intensity and as far as just the teams being familiar. And some of these regional games we played, pretty familiar teams, with Hillsdale and Findlay being in the conference not too long ago and playing them every year and then playing Lewis every year. But GLIAC is just different. There's not a lot of turnaround in the coaching, a coach here or there every other year, hardly. It's just we know each other so well and we know the players, a lot of returners, and so it'll be a grind. All of a sudden the things that we're working a little bit in the preseason, they don't work as well against the team that knows you, and the games just matter more because we're all fighting for that GLIAC crown.
Maybe talk about how these guys have responded to adversity here in the year. You've dealt with some injuries. You had some deficits you came back from, and how they've handled all of that.
Yeah, I mean, injuries are part of the game. Every team deals with them. If you could just keep them to a minimum, it's such an unbelievable year. But with McFadden going down, it changed us a lot, and we're dealing with that on a personal level for Jalen because we all care about him and what's best for him. But then as the team goes, we are all hurting also as coaches and as teammates, wanting him to bring the value he brought to the team. So we're just adjusting with that. And then Ben Davison was part of the adjustment. He goes down, and so, but that's part of the deal. It's the next man up, and you work through it, and you try to stay positive, and that's what we're doing. I'm proud of our guys, and we're grinders. We've proven that. So if we can just get a little better every day, I don't see why we can't do something special.
Well, Coach, thanks for being with us. Congrats on the 8-1 start, and best of luck here this week.
All right, Robert, thanks.
That'll do it for Ferris Sports Update. Reminder, you can follow all the action and get all the results online at ferrisstatebulldogs.com. Have a great week.